Hey everyone, welcome back to Who's Your Amma podcast. As you can see today, we have a very special guest. If you are living under a rock, or you're probably the one person that came from my channel, you don't know who she is, but this is Vongai, content creator extraordinaire. Her content is on another level. Her personality is on another level. Your house, Vongai. We'll speak about your house, but your house, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for joining me today. And also, I just want to say thank you for always supporting me. Aww. I remember when I started with the mugs like years ago, you were like, sure, drop off mugs. You can send me planners. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you. Like, you always supporting my ventures, and I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, and thank you for having me today.
You are my first guest.
Oh,
my first official guest.
Well, I'm honored to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. So before we get into the questions, I want to ask you, what is your rose and thorn for the week? So basically your highlight and something that didn't really go as planned for the week.
My highlight for the week, I think because my life is centered around my son, my highlight for the week has been him learning how to walk, trying to walk. Yeah, trying to make his first steps, going left and right, and
that is so
and just
cute.
him trying to balance himself.
How old is he?
One. Yeah.
And do you have a walking ring, or because I've heard people say it's not really necessary?
Yeah. I actually have a walking ring, and I had actually the privilege of my friend passing down her walker. No, if you know the wooden walker. Yeah, the walker. Yeah. So the what do you call it? What did you say?
Walking ring.
The walking ring is the walker ring, apparently. Yeah.
I don't know.
He has that, and he uses it to run around the house, but we want to stop it now so that he can actually really learn how to balance himself.
Okay.
So
and what is the walker? Is it like just a mini version of the things
it's
that
like
old people use?
It's almost like a trolley. You have to push yourself and learn to balance.
Okay.
So it's different in that sense, because with the walker
the other thing you have support.
You do have support.
Okay.
So he has both. I was against the walker ring, but I'm not the only parent to Aiden. So the grandmoms and everybody else grew on that. So they had to say I didn't have to fight it. So yeah.
That is interesting, because we've started doing our registry for our baby shower.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, first of all, the registry is just confusing because I want to put everything that I need for when the baby grows up also. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, are people really going to buy me like a feeding chair that I'm going to need in 6 months or whatever?
Yeah.
So the walking ring, I was also conflicted about it because I know I had one.
Yeah.
And they told me that one day my grandfather was singing in the shower and I ran and I fell in that. And then my lip went.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if I want that. But then also I feel like there's a lot of things that maybe obviously I learn as I go. But I feel like there are a lot of things that is just a money scheme, like a money grabbing scheme.
Yeah.
Like there's things you don't need.
You will learn like with your journey. What I always advocate for, to be honest, is if you're a first time mom, you need to experience it yourself. Like I hate it when people want to impose and say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Like walk your own journey and learn as you go. It is nice to read and learn, but do what you feel like you want to do. And if it doesn't work out, maybe you'll do it for your next baby, if you have a next baby, But
does it really come naturally?
It does, actually, hey? Because I feel like when my son arrived, that maternal instinct, instantly it just kicks in. You know how to protect your child. You know how to do this. My mom was there to hold my hand, and my sister, I've got friends that have babies. But to be honest, I think for women, it does come like naturally. So, yeah.
Okay, that's good to know, because I've been telling everyone, I said, everyone that told me it's going to come naturally, if it doesn't, I'm going to phone you. And you will be there helping me, because I feel like I'm not ready, but I guess. I feel like I'm very young, but I'm not.
Ready. You're never ready. I don't think you're ever ready. We planned Aiden, like we planned everything to the T. Even with my previous pregnancy, we wanted the baby. But you never, ever, ever feel ready inside. Like you're never ready. So you can say I financially am set, mentally, but
it's like a learn on the job situation.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, my highlight of the week is obviously today. I'm not going to fangirl even more, but I just want to say thank you again for shooting with me.
Yeah.
I have been panicking a lot. I've been saying, but she's coming to my house. Have you seen Vongai's house? And everyone's like, can you calm down? You have a nice house. I'm like, yeah, but have you seen Vongai's house? Also, she does this like professionally. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm nervous. But it's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yes.
And what is your lowest moment of the week or something that didn't go as planned?
What didn't go as planned? I didn't receive my money when I was waiting.
Oh
for
my
it.
gosh. Is it a brand?
It is.
I've
It is
also
a
been
brand.
fighting with brands this
Yeah,
week.
and like it's month end. I do this for a living. I've got bills to
You have
pay.
bills.
I have a child.
Exactly.
I have a household to run. And when you don't get your payment and you're expecting it, you budgeted for it.
Exactly.
And
the worst
that's
is
been
when
a
they
low.
say payment was released, but it's not in your account. And then you follow
Yeah.
up, and then only when you follow up, then all of a sudden it's in your account after you followed up. And I'm
Yeah.
like, was it really released when you said it was released, or are you just trying to?
Sketchy.
Yeah, very, very sketchy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell me about the beginning when you found out that you were pregnant with Aiden. Like, you said it was planned. So how did you react? How did you tell Dennis? What was the vibe around that time?
So I'm not an emotional person. Like, well, before I had my son, I wasn't an emotional
Okay.
person. And I had this whole week of me just crying. Mind you, I had no symptoms.
Okay.
I had no symptoms. I wasn't, unlike my previous pregnancy, I wasn't having like any nausea. I was eating.
Okay.
Nothing smelled bad. Everything was just great. But then there's this one thing, I was always emotional. Little things would make me upset.
Okay.
Little things would make me cry.
Okay.
And one day I was lying in bed watching TikTok, and I was watching this TikTok of a guy like spreading goodness,
Okay.
to the next person,
Okay.
like giving out compliments to people on the street.
Okay.
And I started crying,
Oh my word.
just crying. And then Dennis was like, something is not right.
You're
and
like,
then,
I'm
but
not
I
a saddie,
brushed
I'm a
it off.
baddie. What's going on?
Exactly. And also my period wasn't coming. So in my
Okay.
head, I told myself, because we'd been trying, for quite a time and it wasn't happening, I didn't think I was actually pregnant. I thought, you know what? Maybe it's my period. Maybe my period is getting closer. So that's why I'm emotional.
Okay.
But also another thought was like, just try and test, But I didn't also want to tell Dennis because we were obviously going through this emotional
Yes.
journey.
So you wanted to be like 100%.
Yeah, so I went and I got my pregnancy test and I tested myself, and obviously it came back positive. But then the other positive line was not very positive. It was like faint.
Okay.
But obviously it was maybe because I tested in the afternoon.
In the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was excited, but I didn't tell Dennis. The first person I actually told was my sister.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I found out
Oh, wow.
I was pregnant. And when I told Dennis, he did not believe it. So I was standing there trying to hide it from him. He was outside, but he saw me through the window. So I just showed him the pregnancy test, but
Oh, wow.
then he didn't react
Okay.
because of
The past.
trauma
Yeah.
in the past. He didn't
Okay.
react. He thought I was bluffing.
Yeah.
So he came inside. He was like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?" Even
Shame.
having that positive pregnancy test, we actually drove and we went and we bought another one
Wow.
to test again.
Wow.
Just to see if I was really pregnant. But yeah, that's
Wow.
how I.
So this is my first pregnancy, but I also did 2 tests.
Yeah.
So I did the first one in the afternoon, and for those of you who don't know, they say that your morning pee is the
it's
most
the best.
accurate.
Yeah.
So I tested in the afternoon, and then I told him, and he thought I was pranking him because I do have
Yeah,
a
you
history of pranking him. So he was like, "Is this a prank?" And I'm like, "No, I am. I'm pregnant." We were also planning it. We had
Yes.
just gotten back from holiday,
Yeah.
and my period was late.
Yeah.
So I assumed it was the travel that was like affecting my body and my hormones. So I didn't even think that it's my period that's late. I'm pregnant. So anyway, we took a first test. The next morning, I took another one, and then we also went immediately to Lancet the next day to get a blood test because I needed to be 100% sure. And then, so I also, the multiple testing, so it's a normal thing.
It's
No.
normal.
Okay.
It's quite normal if you're really like planning
Yeah.
it and you really, really want it to happen. I would say maybe, yeah.
Multiple tests is
Yeah,
normal.
it's very normal. It's very normal. It's very
That is
normal.
good to know. At least I'm not a weirdo.
Yeah, you're not crazy.
Yeah, that's good to know. So in the beginning for me, it was, even though, like I said, it was planned, I was a bit, maybe not scared, but I was a bit anxious knowing that everything was about to change.
Yes.
Trevino and I have been together since 2010, and now all of a sudden there's another human to care for. So how did you feel in the beginning knowing that all these changes were coming? What did you do to keep yourself calm? Were you nervous?
Yeah.
What was your
Well,
emotions
I
like?
was only nervous because of my past loss. That's
Okay.
the only reason. We were both nervous. I think Dennis was even worse. But also, I was nervous because of that. I didn't want anything to go wrong. And as much as I had a very amazing gynae, he assured me, he told me everything was going to be fine. I was anxious because of that. I wanted to feel my son kicking. I wanted
Okay.
to feel every little bit of movement, you know, and that made me anxious. I want to say it made me anxious until the day I gave birth.
Wow.
Yeah, until the day I gave birth.
So not even past the safe mark of the first trimester.
No, because for me, you know, especially if you experience a pregnancy with abnormalities, when you get to have a sort of like a normal one, you're always scared, like maybe something can develop. And also because of all this information that I had found out, like things that can happen,
Okay.
you know,
So it was like paranoia, but
I had so much paranoia.
Okay.
I did relax a little bit when I got to my third trimester, but
Okay.
at the same time, when you get to your third trimester, if you have a super active kicking baby all the time, they sort of like slow down. And Aiden was huge and I was small. I didn't feel him kicking most of
wow,
the time.
that's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so every time I had to like
So the third trimester was like scarier because the baby stopped
yeah.
moving so much.
it was scary.
Wow.
And also I once had a pregnancy scare, I think around 6 months, where I was bleeding. My gynae said I was bleeding because my what do you call it, my uterus was
Expanding,
expanding.
yeah.
Yeah, probably because I'm also like a tiny
person.
yeah. So I had that scare and I had to run to the hospital. I thought I was having a miscarriage again. So luckily everything was fine. So you can imagine.
Motherhood is a journey.
It is. I try to prepare myself
Yeah.
so that everything would be okay. Like I would do affirmations. I would speak to my child. You're going to be healthy. You're going to be well. You're going to be, you're going to make it. But you can only do as much. It's
Yeah.
scary. It's
Do
scary.
you think if you are planning on having another child, do you think that that pregnancy will be different, or will you still have those fears? Or going through what you went through with Aiden, do you think you'll be more at ease?
I don't think it's gonna be different. I think it's gonna be you go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I've processed everything that has happened, and as much as I know that there is a high possibility of it not happening again, but because of the stuff that I've had to learn about pregnancy and how scary it can be, I don't think I can ever relax. I feel for anybody that carries a child, any mother that carries a child. It's scary.
It is.
It's very scary.
I think that's also one of the reasons why I haven't posted about it on social media.
yeah.
Older Indian people are very superstitious and they're like bad eyes or whatever. But for me, even past the first trimester, I was like, I just want to keep it as
To
long as I
yourself,
can.
yeah.
If I could even have this baby and not let anyone know, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, but that's not realistic at this moment in time. So, speaking about your house that we spoke about in the beginning, okay, as you can see, I have the same tones throughout my house.
I can
and
see.
I always tell Trevino, I'm like, one day when we have our forever home,
Yeah.
Vongai is going to come and interior design, interior decorate, do that house up. So I want to know, because I've seen recently, I think it was a few weeks ago on your story, that you started baby-led weaning
Yeah.
with Aiden. And he was sitting in his chair and he was eating. And you're like, this is very messy.
Yeah.
So I want to know, please give me tips. How do you plan on maintaining this beautiful house of yours with a toddler?
It's crazy. It's crazy. You cannot I cannot prepare you enough for the mess you're about to experience. But I want to say this. when you have like a light toned house, I think the best thing you can ever do, even now, I'm sure, is for every mess that happens, you clean it
Clean
up
it
right
immediately.
away. So he can mess around, he can do what he's doing, but I always make sure that I'm not leaving the stains to stay there on for long. I pick up after him. Even with his toys, I learned something prior him growing to his age now, where he can take out toys and stuff, that when you should let your kids play, actually, like don't like cocoon
Confine
them
them,
or like
okay.
confine them, or like, stop them from experiencing the whole space. So even with
Okay.
his toys, I let him play, I let him take them everywhere he wants to take them. But as soon as he's done and I realize he's bored, he's done, completely done, I then
Okay.
pick them up and then I pack them away.
Okay.
So it's not, I will say this, it's not extremely messy, but it's not as clean as it used to be before me. And well, Dennis and Aiden, same.
The same energy. The
Same.
mini
If
Dennis
if you want to keep your house clean, don't have kids, don't have a husband.
husband. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, I always make sure I clean up after him all the time, and
Okay.
I've invested in stuff
I
that
know.
take out
I
stains
know.
and
I've
things like
seen.
that. Yeah.
And does he help you with like picking up his toys, or is he not at that age yet where he
No,
understands?
he doesn't understand that.
Okay.
He knows to take out, even if he's trying to help me, he doesn't
Yeah.
understand the fact that you have to take it back where it belongs.
Does he
So,
have crayons and painters yet?
no,
Not.
no,
Okay. Because I'm looking at my white curtains and I'm just like
no,
thinking about this.
no.
Okay.
No.
That's good to know. I will take that tip. I will definitely take that tip.
Yeah.
So, I've always seen myself as a boy mom because in my mind, a girl mom is someone like Jessica van Heerden.
Yes.
Super girly,
Yeah.
flowers, pearls, frills, and I'm not that person. So I've
Yes.
always pictured myself, even prior to pregnancy, of being a boy mom. Have you pictured yourself being a boy mom, and how has that changed ever since becoming and having a son with you?
Yeah. So I didn't picture myself as a boy mom. I actually had both of us. We had gender disappointment.
Oh, wow.
Yes, gender disappointment is a real thing.
Do you
by
mind
the way.
talking about that a bit?
I
and
don't.
sharing?
So our loss was a girl.
Okay.
So I think
wow.
it was all attached to that. We had this whole picture like we're gonna have a girl, and mostly because I have like girls in my family, and Dennis has boys from his side of the family, so he really, really wanted to
Wanted
have
a daughter.
yes.
Okay.
So we knew the gender of our baby quite early, like 10 weeks we knew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we did a blood test. We had to make sure everything was fine.
Okay.
There were no like genetic disorders and
Yes,
stuff
yes.
like that. So when we found out it was a boy, it all took us like aback. We
Yeah.
all looked at each other like, what? That's not what we wanted.
Wow.
But also when the reality set in, I think like few weeks later we were quite excited, and also because we just were hoping for like a healthy and well baby. We were like it's okay, it's okay. And because I didn't picture myself as a boy mom, having Aiden here and him being he is energetic.
I see.
He is
very
so
active.
busy.
Yeah.
He is busy. I don't think you said I should bring him here. If he was here,
We have a daycare outside.
the screaming, he is busy. I've never seen such busy in my whole life. Even my nephew, I thought he was busy, but Aiden is busy. He's made me so energetic as well. Like I'm always on
Wow.
my toes. I'm always doing something. I'm always like stopping
Yeah.
him from you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna, so yeah, I guess you adjust to what you are given, because I think God knows what you
Definitely.
need. So you might say you're a tomboy or
Yeah.
but I think yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We will speak about that.
Yeah. Cut.
What's the relationship like with Ethan and Aiden? Because
Amazing.
from the outside looking in, it's like Ethan was your baby also for a very long time.
Yeah.
So how was the adjustment when Aiden came along?
He is still my baby. He is still my. He's such a good boy. He
And his
understands.
smile, oh my word, and his ears. It's just the
Yeah.
cutest. Like he has the biggest smile. It's so
Yeah,
cute.
he's very understanding. I think his mom is doing such a good job. He understands that Aiden is small and he's a baby, and he keeps saying, "This is my baby brother."
Oh, that
So
is
it
so
has been like he
sweet.
didn't like me when I was pregnant at
Oh
all.
wow.
He didn't. Because there's this myth that says if you're carrying a boy, which I kind of like believe now, he didn't like me at all.
Yeah.
But he's adjusted very well. He loves Aiden. Aiden loves him. Aiden looks up to him. So what he's
That
doing, he
is so
wants to do.
cute.
So they are doing fine.
That is so cute.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That's so cute. So, has there been anything with having a boy that has shocked you, other than how energetic you've had to be?
Not really.
Nothing.
Not really. I think I've just transitioned into, I just said, yeah, it's a boy. And
We're
whatever,
doing
like,
this.
yeah,
Let's
we're doing
go.
this. We're doing
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah.
That's a very good attitude to have. That is a very good attitude to have.
Yeah.
When we first started chatting, you said that your mom and your sister were there to
Yeah.
help you. So I plan on having a C-section because that's just what I feel is right for me. And a few people have given me advice. Some people have said, try and just be alone with your husband and the baby for first week. And then other people have said, you're going to need the help, get people here. What do you think? What should I prepare or what should I expect after coming home from the hospital?
I think you need the help. I think you need the help. I mean, there's a lot of things that you guys are going to experience anyway after. So, but I personally, at the end of the day, whatever I say to you, you're going to have the final decision. But I think you need the help because when you leave the hospital, that's when reality comes in. The sleepless nights, the feeding, the exhaustion, the hormones, the husband, the everything, that's
Yeah.
when it comes into play. Trust me, you get to a point where you're super exhausted with the night wakings, the feeding, if you plan on breastfeeding, and also you are healing. If you decide to have the C-section, you're still healing
With your
yeah,
stitches.
so you are going to need every help. You want to tidy up the house, you want to do this, because you still want to feel like your normal
Yes.
self, you understand? So I had my sister, I had my mom, and my mom really held my hand. And there's some things that you can't figure out on your own as a new mom. As much as the maternal instinct kicks in there and then, you still need somebody to like hold your hand and guide you and say, you can do this, you do this, do that, do that. So I don't know. I don't know the kind of person you are if you need support from people.
I think I'm going to need the help. But in
Yeah.
terms of like my mental health, I do love my space.
Yeah.
I do like being alone
Yes.
with my husband. But I
Yes.
do think in terms of physical help, I am going to need.
You are going to
that
need
help.
physical help. Funny enough, you say that. I don't remember how my C-section hurt after.
Oh, did you also have a C-section?
I did. I also had a planned C-section. But I don't actually remember how it hurt. I think maybe because I was in survival mode. I didn't
Yes.
feel it.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I was even telling my mom yesterday that I don't remember the pain, but my mom says it's painful, but I don't remember my
Oh
pain.
my gosh.
Yeah. But you will need the help, and you will need the help.
Yeah.
You will need the help.
Everyone has told me, like, well, moms have told me, the birth is the least of your concerns. It's when that baby is here.
Yes.
That's when
Yeah.
it really starts, and that's when everything needs to start happening.
Yeah. That's when reality. You see, when
Wow.
when you arrive home, that's when you realize,
There's no doctors
oh
to
my
help you.
God,
There's no nurses.
no, it's happening. It's actually really, really happening. I'm on my
Oh
own.
my gosh. Yeah, basically.
I'm on my own. Yeah.
Basically.
But also, I'll tell you this: you will fight with whoever you're getting support from. You'll fight because moms want to do things their own way. You want to do things your own way.
Yes.
You want to walk your own journey, and they're saying that. So it's also another thing of finding balance to say,
And being able to deal with that.
Yes.
I'm scared of snapping at someone because my granny really wants to come stay with us, and it's easier for her because it's just one person.
Yeah.
Whereas with my mom, it will be my dad who's working. So my mom doesn't work; she stay at home.
Yes.
So if my mom had to come, it would be my dad and my sister that's in high school. So it's not practical for her to stay here, but she can come during the day because they live quite close.
Yeah.
But my granny is easier, and I'm just so scared that with the emotions and the hormones, I don't want to snap at someone.
You're gonna snap at someone. You're gonna snap at your husband. You're gonna
He's
snap.
fine. He can deal with it. But my
Yeah,
granny,
you are going to snap at her. I snapped.
Shame. I feel so bad already.
I snapped at my mom
Oh my
a lot of
gosh.
times, but I'm so lucky that she was very, very understanding.
Maybe
And
I
if
should
I
pre-warn
said no,
everyone.
yes, you should. You should, because also, listen, your hormones are going to
Oh
be
my
there.
gosh. Oh my gosh. This is stressful.
But it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun.
I feel like I haven't gotten to that point as yet. I'm still at the point where everything is stressful and everything is scaring me and there's so much that needs to be done. But everyone I speak to is like, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
It's everyone does this, you will be fine.
You'll be fine. Whichever way your journey is going to look like, even if it's stressful, even if that's your journey, you're gonna work it the way you know how to work it. So just embrace it.
That's good
Embrace it.
advice.
Yeah,
Just take it as it comes.
as it comes.
I think also one thing that this pregnancy has taught me is that I don't know how to put this in the right words, but I am a very type A person. Everything needs to be planned and structured.
Yeah,
And this has shown me that with parenting, there's no such thing.
there's no.
You learn on the job, you learn as you go.
Yes.
It's just, so I've been trying to find that balance between staying sane, but also letting things happen
Yeah.
as God intended them to happen.
Yes, I was also that person. They're organized. I want things this way.
Yeah.
But also, my friend told me something after I was battling my own postpartum anxiety. She was like, "You like to be so much in control, but how does it serve you? Does it help you with anything?" And then I just had to stop and look back at it. I want everything to go this way, that way, but how does it actually like help me? It doesn't really help me in any way. It's just my anxiety telling me, dude, you need to make sure this is right. But for what gain? So
Wow.
yeah.
I've actually been so focused on postpartum depression. I even forgot that postpartum anxiety exists.
Yes, it does.
Wow.
It does.
Another thing to research on and try and get ahead of it before it happens. So we chatted a bit about this briefly also. My social media audience is like 1% of your social media audience.
Yes.
But I want to know, what was your thought process around from the time you found out you were pregnant about what to share, how much to share, and then obviously sharing your child on social media?
Yeah.
Because now in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to put my child on the internet.
Yeah.
But how did you work out that balance? What was the thought process like? So how did you get to the point of being comfortable with sharing him on your socials?
So I actually gave you see, the thing is with me, I'm quite like I work, a lot of the work that I do is on social media. So it becomes very hard for me to actually like hide myself,
things.
because even I hid my pregnancy until I was like 7 months.
So when you
And-
posted a picture I think you were in Cape Town,
Yeah.
of your back,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not a very Vongai picture.
You
What's going
see?
on here?
So those are the things that people were already like picking it. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, she
Okay.
looks different.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that. So it became, as much as I hid it until 7 months, it became very, very hard for me to like keep hiding it. And what I hated the most is I didn't want people to actually start saying, oh, she's pregnant. And a lot of people were starting to see me, because when I got to 6 months, I just popped.
Yeah. Looks down at my belly.
I just popped and I just became like huge.
Yeah.
So I couldn't hide it anymore.
Yeah.
I could try and hide it on pictures with angles and clothing and
Yes.
stuff like that, but it started.
And also you're a tiny person.
I am a tiny person as well. I'm short as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, getting to 7 months, I ultimately made the decision that I was going to share, but I was also going to share mostly because there's so many people that went through what I went
Yes,
through.
With
And
the first pregnancy
yes,
also.
so for me as well, it was almost like just to give them hope, one, to just so everybody that cried with me, I had a lot of people that cried with me that, that felt sorry for me. Just, to show them that there is hope,
Light at the end of the
yeah.
tunnel.
And then when it comes to showing my child, honestly, I don't have any connotations around it. It's my life, and
Yeah.
I get to show what I want to show, what I don't want to, what I don't want people to see. Sometimes people might think they know
Know
like,
everything.
but
You don't?
No, 80% of my life is not
Yeah.
even on social media. So yeah, I don't have any connotations around
Okay.
my child. What could happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
In my mind, that's my question all the
What
time.
could
Something's
happen?
gonna happen.
Yeah, I think my therapist also said the same thing. She said, "What could happen? Sometimes it's just your anxiety. Sometimes the overthinking that goes around, like telling you the kind of decisions that you
Yeah.
should be making. But whatever decision you decide to make, it's
Have
best for
people ever
you."
come up to you with your baby and try to like,
Funny enough, no.
wow,
I
that's
think also
good.
because I am not scared of setting my boundaries.
Okay.
If you come for me, I'm gonna come back to
Yeah.
you. And if you say something that I don't like, and if I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna keep coming, I literally post it on my stories and I tell,
Teach me your
don't
ways.
do this. I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
And people can tell you like you're
Yes.
rude, can label you, can
Yes.
do
Oh,
all of
yeah.
that. I don't care. I set my boundaries. And I think people know as well. I've seen even in public, they'll say, hi Aiden, hi Vongai. That's it.
That's it.
Nobody has ever come up to my child to like try and touch them or kiss them or
Okay.
yeah.
So I want to end with a bit of a deep question. I
Yes.
don't know if it's that deep, but I've positioned this podcast as a platform for young mothers that are women of color.
Yes.
So you are in an interracial marriage.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges, or how are you dealing with some of the differences in how you raise Aiden? Because he is obviously half black.
Yeah.
So what are some of the ways that you and Dennis have had to compromise? And then the second part to that question is, how do you feel about raising a black man the way the world is now?
So I think that's one of the things that have scared me for a long time, like having a mixed race baby. But unfortunately, I fell in love with a white man.
We can't help it. It is what
I
it is.
fell in love with a white man.
What people giving you some crap about that on social media
They
a while
were,
ago?
yes,
Oh
sometime.
my gosh.
So, but anyway,
Social media
yeah,
rolls
right.
eyes.
I know. But anyway, I think even now I'm struggling in the sense that I don't know how also my child is going to be received in the world, knowing that
Wow.
he's colored, he's mixed
Yes.
race, he's half black, half white.
Yes.
It really, really scares me. The thought of it scares me. But we're raising my child black.
Okay.
To be honest, we're
Okay.
raising him black, and also I really want him to understand where he's coming from. I want also him to know his father's side of the world and my side of the world. That's why also I'm even teaching him how to speak Shona.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't struggle in that regard.
Okay.
We don't. I lead actually. I want to say
That's
I'm
good to
leading.
know.
Yeah, my son.
I think you have to, if not to put down white people, but if you are in an interracial relationship, I do feel like there is more responsibility on the person of color to raise the child, to know the struggles, the history.
And that's how I want him to know the struggles. I want him to know, as much as I know he's privileged because we've worked hard to get him here.
Yes.
He needs to know the struggle. He needs to know like that he has it well. He has it better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm leading.
Okay.
I'm leading, and my husband doesn't have a problem with that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
That is very good to hear, actually. I've actually never thought about what I just said until now, that I feel like the parent of color should lead when it comes to things like this.
Yeah.
Because who else is going to know other than you?
Exactly.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this podcast.
I did too.
I wish we could chat forever and ever and ever. Is there anything that you want people to know about? Please plug Dream Apparel, your homepage, everything.
Oh yeah,
everything.
yeah. I really want people to follow my home styling page.
Please do, guys.
I enjoyed so much. It's
We enjoyed too.
yeah, I really enjoyed. I feel like myself on that platform, 100% myself, without scrutiny and all that stuff. And also, I have a clothing brand that specializes in neutrals and wardrobe basics. So
The best color is neutral.
Shop from Dream Apparel,
Yes.
guys.
And We will link Vongai's social medias all over on the podcast and on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I have a lot of things to discuss with you now once we stop recording. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. My first guest. Woo! Thank you.